Everybody, it is September 21st. The month is running away from us. I'm proud to have on board Chelsko, who is our 1,875th member of the Be Fantastic movement. She is the 444th person to be subscribed to the Instagram, and she is our new ambassador of positivity, number, what is it, 72 or 73?
72.
72. So welcome to the Be Fantastic movement.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
You've been ambassador for 2 days or 3 days?
It's only been a day.
1 day. See how time flies when you're having fun?
It does.
So you've been here for 1 day now.
Or the opposite. It actually feels like it's been longer than it's been.
But you went to San Francisco as an ambassador.
I went to Las Vegas.
Oh, Las Vegas. See, I'm so close. I'm so right on this morning. I had a lot to drink last night, too. I went, as I was telling you, I went to the James Wan party for Paradigm.
Oh.
You know Paradigm,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it was at Paradigm Studio, their office.
Very fun.
Oh my God, the food was delicious. The people were wonderful. I should say fantastic. I met, you know, the Crazy Rich Asians?
Yes.
I met the star of that one, the guy.
Stop.
Really good looking guy.
They're great. That was a great film.
Yeah, I thought it was fun. I met James Wan and I met Luke Doss.
Very cool.
You know the Bros from the Bros?
No.
I mean, I looked up his films afterwards because I didn't know who he was when I met him.
Yeah, I don't know that.
He's got like 30 or
But it's
40
cool.
films he starred in. It's like
Did he starred in? Or
starred in,
okay.
yeah. He's a big star, I guess. So.
Yeah, it's incredible
Nice
how
guy.
many stars there are that
mean,
we don't know about.
but
You
then-
go on Instagram and there's like 9 million people with a billion followers, and I'm like, I've never seen you be a billion.
Well, what's
followers.
funny is over 30 films. I'd never seen one of them, but I mean they were big films, you know. I
Yeah.
mean, pretty big films.
Well, there's a lot
So
of
it was
movies
fun.
out there.
So tell me about your party.
It was great. I went to iHeart, and what I didn't realize, I didn't even know what I was really going to. This is my best friend.
Oh,
He
you
was
have-
like,
smoke, you got it?
Yeah,
What's
yeah.
that ringing, dinging going on?
I don't know. Maybe it's the door. Is it
Okay.
closed all the way?
Oh yeah, the trunk's not closed.
Oh, well,
Good. Oh yeah, because I popped the trunk for you, and
that'll do it.
that'll do it. I'm gonna get the trunk. You know, there's always a ringy dingy noise for some reason. You know, like, do you ever have one of those carbon monoxide alarms? You know, to tell you if you have carbon monoxide in your home. And what happens is it goes off, and because you can't smell carbon monoxide and you can't feel it, and so people will disconnect it because it keeps going off, and then they die because it was warning them that they had carbon monoxide. And
I didn't know that there are carbon monoxide
alarms.
alarms.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I know there's fire
Oh
alarms. but
goodness, what's going on here?
I don't know.
A whole train of people in the parking lot.
This guy. Go.
Well, you got to stop them at one point. Oh, you just let them all in. Okay. So this is called live television, ladies and gentlemen, and that's what happens. You close trunks and you have fun. So tell
Real
me,
live
So tell me
television
about the
as
iHeart.
opposed to-
You went up there for you went to Vegas for the iHeart party.
Yes.
And what
for
was the party
iHeart
for?
Festival.
Oh, it's a festival.
Yes.
So music.
But it's not like festivals where like you have to run around in a field and go from stage to stage.
Okay.
Which is fine, and it's fun when you are in the mood for it, but
Right.
I kind of wasn't. So there was 3 festivals going on in Vegas this weekend, and one of them was like Coachella with a bunch of different stages and throughout the day, and you go to different ones, and I was like, just not. I'm fine with those. I love Coachella. I don't go every year, but it's like one of those things you want to do it once, but I wouldn't want to like keep doing those all the time. But this was different. This was one big stage inside, which is nice because it's hot there. And every like 10-15 minutes is a different person and huge people.
Wow.
So you get, if you're ADD like me, you get the whole, it's like a dream come true. Because literally we got to see Camila Cabello, Backstreet Boys, Heart, who else? Tim McGraw, like within an hour or two.
Wow.
Yeah, it was incredible.
And how much it cost? Something like that cost?
I don't know.
Oh, someone treated you.
Yeah, it was my friend. He bought tickets.
Okay.
And he's, I guess, goes to this every year.
Uh-huh.
This is
What's
like
it called?
Thing. iHeart.
It's called iHeart.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because there's iHeart Radio, right? It's like a radio
that's
station?
what it is. It's iHeart Radio's concert. that they
Okay. And once a year they do it?
Yeah.
Oh.
And then I guess one year, who was it? This one, Green Day, I believe, Let me double check, but I think it was Green Day. Yeah, I had a breakdown on stage, a meltdown, and not like really a
Wait a
meltdown.
minute, you were on stage?
No. Green Day.
Oh, Green Day had it.
Yeah. No, not this time.
Okay.
But
So tell me about it.
So I guess it was like one of the first years that iHeart had this show,
Right.
and Gaga was performing also, and because of the time, each act only has a certain amount of time, and they expanded her time a little bit because it was probably right when she was like blowing up.
Okay.
And they cut Green Day's time, and Green Day was not having it.
Oh, that guy
So
meltdown. Okay.
he had like a screen that said like 1 minute, you have 1 minute left,
Right.
and he just started like cussing them out. Was like, I have only 1 bleeping minute, like, whoa, it just went off and smashed his guitar.
No way.
And so,
What a temper.
and I think he's
anger management.
They're performing again this year, but it's probably not until tomorrow. So I was bummed.
Oh, so it's a 3-day concert?
It's 2 days.
2-day concert.
Yeah.
So today's the next day.
Yes.
You didn't have time for 2 days.
No, yeah, we just went to the 1 day, and that was enough for me. I don't.
So what
also
time did it
like
start?
to-
What time did it finish?
It starts at 7:30, ends at midnight. It's like
Oh, that's a
so
short one.
perfect. Yeah,
Wow.
it's just like so nice. And then I went to a beautiful dinner beforehand, French food, which was delicious.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, it was just a perfect little trip and back home. Like just really
Okay.
nice. Yeah.
Well, they had the best food at my party last night. Sushi. Oh, sashimi. Oh,
Oh, really?
It was really, really good. They
Amazing.
must have spent a fortune on it.
Mhm.
But it's one of those Hollywood parties where no one eats.
Right.
Right? So
Isn't that a bummer?
no, not for me, because I don't give. I'm not going to play
but
the game.
It just bums me
It's
out.
too cool
like,
to
everyone's
eat.
eating. There's such great food and no one's eating it. And I'm
Right,
like,
because
wow.
they're too cool. Because they're stars.
Or
It's Hollywood.
you're talking to people, and when I go to parties, even if it's not a Hollywood party, even if it's my friend's birthday party or
Right.
a family party, I generally don't try to eat that much because I'm not trying to just like eat. I'm there to enjoy people's company.
Right,
You know what
right.
I mean? So like I really try
Well,
to
I did both because I love to eat. I mean,
Yeah.
especially when it's good
I mean,
food.
don't get me wrong, I'm a
Oh,
foodie.
they had prosciutto. They had
Oh,
cheeses. And
beautiful.
food. Oh my gosh!
So
But it was
good.
really cool. I met a lot of fantastic people. I made a lot of fantastic people.
Wonderful.
I got a guy who says he might be able to get me in front of the UN, which I've been trying to do.
No
Because I think I
way.
should speak in front of the UN
Very
and get
cool.
my message out to them. So that was
Very
really
cool.
cool. Another one says he might have an agent for me
Oh,
for
cool.
speaking engagement. That was pretty cool.
Very nice.
I met the billionaire that owns Starlight. A
Very
guy named
nice.
Peter. Didn't speak any English. Had 2 translators.
Really?
Lots of bodyguards.
What does he speak?
Chinese.
Ah.
Chinese funded company.
Mm.
And of course.
My dad could talk to him.
Sorry?
My dad could talk.
Oh, is that right? Your dad speaks Chinese?
Yeah.
Wow. So that's it. We both had fun.
Yes, we did.
And that's what you have to do every day is have
Yes,
fun.
I agree. And you know what I think? So I've been thinking a lot about it. And I think that there's a difference between being like goofy and rowdy and a difference between being joyful. And that is what we really want to spread to people,
Okay.
is to learn how to be joyful.
Okay.
And I don't think that you always necessarily need to come across as if everything's okay and you're happy and you're fantastic all the time, but you need to be transparent. Because if you're transparent and you allow people to know that even through the pain, I have joy and I have peace, that transcends into other people, and then they're like, wow, I see you going through something and you're so happy still. Maybe I can too. Maybe, and that I feel like is a ricochet effect.
Well,
and kind of,
okay.
works that way. But you have to speak to people and share and express that kind of thing that you're going through in order for them to
well,
experience
again,
themselves.
the question "How are you?" is rhetorical.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody really cares, and I don't feel it does you or anyone else any good to say I'm feeling lousy, unless it's your psychiatrist or your mother. Because to go up to someone like what? I'll give you an example. Girl gets in the car.
Mm-hmm.
This was like 8 months ago, and I said, "How are you?" And she said, "I'm sad and lonely." She actually said that to me.
See, I think that that's beautiful that she was able to like open up about that, but I also
what
don't
good
think that
does
that's
it-
productive.
It's not productive because
So there's a
she's
happy medium.
here's what she's doing. She's reinforcing it by telling people that. So if you think you're sad and lonely, what are you? You're sad and lonely.
Yeah,
If you think you're happy and joyful, what are you?
The mind is everything. My uncle actually wrote a book called "It's All in Your Head."
It is
and
all
it's
in
all
your
talking
head.
about that. If you decide to be sad,
I want to
you are
interview
going
your
to be
uncle.
sad.
I want to interview your uncle.
You should.
I want to do a podcast with him.
He's a pastor, and he wrote that book, and he's amazing. And
all
just
in
got his finger chopped off the other day.
Oh dear.
So we're praying for that to not have to get amputated. What happened to your finger?
Well, it must be 4 months ago now. I'm walking down the street with my buddy Lucas, and all of a sudden I went, ouch! Just walking down the street, and I looked down, and my finger went like this. It just went drooped, and I couldn't straighten it out again. You know.
What happened?
I don't know. I looked at it, my fingers at an angle, and I'm going, what the hell is that?
You must have smashed it.
No, I didn't. I'm walking down the street. I didn't touch anything.
That's so weird.
Right? And so then I asked people about it, and I looked it up on Google, and it said, a lot of people said it was trigger finger, which it didn't turn out to be. Finally went to the doctor. It's called batten finger, and typically you have to jam your finger against something to break the tendon for it to drop like that.
Yeah.
So then I had to wear this for the last
so bizarre.
2 months. It's very aggravating. I can't even pick my nose. Look, it won't go in there. You can't do anything with it. So, but now I can take it off. I'm supposed to now, on this last month, 2 hours on, 2 hours off. So what I do now is I take it off, because it's been on for 2 hours.
Because you don't want
And
to
look,
cut off the circulation.
it's pretty straight.
But does it bend?
Yeah, I can bend it.
Oh, okay.
I
That's
can
good.
bend it. Yeah, exactly. I don't know if what's worse is to have the bent one or the straight one. But no, but then every once in a while I notice it droops down a little bit, so then I put it back on to keep it back. I don't know what to do. Look at everybody.
The mystery of the droopy pinky.
The droopy pinky.
That's hilarious.
But the funniest part is I can mimic it with this finger. It did exactly that. And you go, how do you do that? You can't do that up there, right?
No, my finger goes straight or curves. Not any weird
That's what's
little things.
weird. So I have 2 weird pinky fingers.
That's bizarro.
It is what it is. I was making a joke because it was just before my birthday, and I went around and saying, you know, this finger lasted me 64 years. It almost made it to 65. But you got to look at the positive and everything. Do you know what I did? I took my first little splints, and I bought some gold tape, foil
and
tape.
you made it a fun thing.
And I just wrapped my finger, and I was gold finger.
You gotta do it.
You gotta have fun.
Look at like casts when you were a kid. I remember being so jealous of all my friends who had casts.
They got people to sign
didn't
it.
have a cast.
It was fun.
Yeah.
It was a conversation piece.
You know, speaking of which, 90s clothes are so coming back in.
Is that right?
Yes. I was shopping yesterday, or like window shopping.
Well, yeah, bell bottoms from the
my
70s.
gosh. Yes. Oh, wait. No. 90s.
90s. Well, I don't know.
90s. I'm a 90s baby.
Oh, you're
so,
90s.
90s things include
Okay.
leopard print, plaid skirts, that really thick plaid-ish material that's
It was 20 years ago, so I mean,
almost like a
things always recycle themselves.
Exactly. And it's really fun because it's recycling right now. Band t-shirts, obviously, which never really went out, but like vintagey band t-shirts, Rolling Stones, Nirvana, Pink Floyd, Spice Girls, Backstreet Boys, which I saw last night. That was fantastic.
So how did you find out that this is back in? What's the
I started
way
looking.
they roll out?
I walked down wherever the shopping is in Vegas, where all the like nicest stores are.
Oh.
And Louis, Prada, like all the nicest
really?
stores,
They had those,
yes,
really?
are now having
So
bedazzled everything, which is typically a very cheesy, cheap look, but it's a 90s thing, and people stopped doing it, and that's when it became like, ew, that's old. But now it's back in again. Prada literally has full-on shoes that are completely bedazzled. I'm like, what? Stud belts, all, like, there's studs on everything.
Oh, I don't like studs that much.
Leopard print everywhere, which is great for me, because I'm like leopard print on prints just all day, every day.
Okay.
Not prints, just leopard print. I'm
Right.
obsessed with leopard print.
But you're a casual dresser, right? I mean, you don't...
Yeah. I mean...
Because you don't wear much makeup either, which is good.
Yeah,
right?
it varies. Like, it depends. Like, some days I'll just be... I'm very much an extremist. I'll either be in, like, a t-shirt and jeans like this, or I'll be, like, I'll go all out. If I'm going to go all out, I'm going to go all out. My whole outfit's going to be leopard.
Well, by the way, we didn't introduce you as an actress and a singer. And ladies and gentlemen, in a little bit, she's going to sing a song she wrote about the Malibu fires. And she's got a beautiful voice. She's going to be a big star.
Today because of the
What?
lack of sleep may have.
You're still going to do it. You got to
maybe
perform.
not the lack of
Listen,
sleep.
a performer has to perform. Rain or shine. It's like the mailman. You have to come through.
It's very true.
Yeah, and this is going to go around the world, and it's going to be seen by today it's going to be seen by some very important people because I gave my card out to a lot of important people.
Oh, very
and
nice.
This will be the last video they see.
Yes.
Because it's the most current.
Perfect.
It'll be the first video they see, actually.
Well, I am the most current.
So she's an actress, and she's a singer, and she has a website or an Instagram you want to shout out there?
Both. Chelsko, CHELSKO.com. And my Instagram is Chelsko Music. And all of my social media is on my website. But the website's the most important because that's where my music is. And I started moving away from Instagram, and I haven't tried. I've successfully done so. Not fully. I didn't delete it, but I definitely took a little break.
Okay.
Because I feel like Instagram feeds into this idea that women need to be a certain type and skinny enough and show enough skin and blah blah blah, and doesn't really put enough weight on finding who you are, being a good person, knowing who you are, serving others, helping others, being a solid, well-rounded, good person.
Which is a fantastic person. Now, what do you think about Facebook? 'Cause I think it's like a bragging platform. Look, I'm in a private jet. Look, I'm at a fancy place.
That's Instagram. Facebook.
Well, that's Instagram? No, I thought it was Facebook.
Facebook isn't really like that
Because
anymore.
Instagram, all I put out is positive, inspirational
But
quotes.
that's your Instagram.
That's my Instagram, yeah.
Everyone else's Instagram is a big, fat, fake bragging.
Oh, really? I
Yeah.
thought that was Facebook.
No, Facebook, I only have like my mom and my grandma and my aunts.
Okay. And what about Snapchat? What is that though? What's the deal with that?
Snapchat was originally made for shade. It was originally made so that guys could get like girls to send them pictures and be like, it's fine, it'll be deleted, but nothing ever actually gets deleted. Anything that goes into cyberspace, in my opinion, stays in cyberspace.
Yeah, but you can't grab it, can you? I mean, they can grab it probably, but you can't. Because it disappears, like you said.
It does disappear. But
what's the point?
If someone knows how to retrieve it, I'm
it's
sure they could.
It's a huge company, too.
Yeah, that's why. Because you feel like you can have secret convos and no one will ever see it.
Oh.
But you can also save the convos. Like, I can say something to you, and I can be like, you're a jerk. And then thinking that it's just going to go away. And then you can save it.
Oh, saving, yeah.
And then if
you like
save
something,
it,
you should
and
save
then
it
I'm
anyway.
like, oh no, he saved it.
You know what? There's a bunch of idiots out there doing things on electronically. Don't they realize that, I mean, all the cameras and the electronic texting, that it's for eternity? I mean, come on. How stupid are people?
I know. It's
Isn't
really
that ridiculous?
And I am one of those. I've done some stupid things online. Growing up in this era, it just really feels like it's normal. And
what about this congressman that painted blackface when it was, fun or whatever, and and now his career's going down the tube because they caught that video from 40 years ago of him doing blackface.
That's brutal.
Well, they used to do it in the films. I mean, it was like commonplace.
How did they
Vaudevilles,
find that?
Vaudeville. People, they're called trollers. They look for negative shit. And all they can do is look for negative shit.
Right.
It's terrible.
And
Everybody,
really,
you need to be kind to one another. Treat others as you want to be treated.
Because if you want to find dirt on someone, you can. On anyone.
Right.
That's reality. But the point is to do your best to just be kind and look at everything in a positive light and look at the silver lining, but also not allow yourself to get walked all over and have lines and boundaries. And I think that our culture kind of has lost both of those things. So it gets
We lost a lot of stuff because of the crowdedness. What I'm telling in my new, I'm coming out with, I hired a company to make a animation of the movement. Okay. And in the first 5 seconds, it says what the problem is. The problem is overcrowded cities have caused society to be greedy, selfish, and litigious. I mean, it's negative, but you got to put it out there because that's what's happening. Now we can change all that by being fantastic, by letting people in traffic, by opening doors for people, by being kind and considerate and courteous, and say please and thank you.
Yeah.
The little things that your mom taught you.
Yeah.
And so now let me ask you: you've been fantastic for a day. Did anybody ask you how you were?
I've been fantastic my whole
No,
life.
but with the movement. Did anybody ask you how you were in the last day? And what was your answer?
No.
Nobody asked you? Well, hopefully someone will ask you today. How are you, by the way?
I'm fantastic.
See? There you go,
But
ladies and gentlemen.
I'm not always fantastic, and that's okay.
Well, I don't know. I don't agree with that.
I do.
I think you should always be fantastic.
I think that you should
Or at least always say it.
have
And that way,
joy
wait a minute, that way
through-
somebody else feels good, even if you're not feeling fantastic. How's that sound? Because it's called karma. It's being nice to
I
others.
believe in karma. I do, and I believe in the circle of life, and I definitely believe.
What does
you should
Ellen
only-
say at the end of every show?
I don't know how to watch it.
Okay, she says, and she's got millions of fans.
I love those houses.
At the end of every show, she says, "Be kind to one another."
I agree.
And you know how the
It's
best way to
not
be
that
kind?
hard to be
You know how
kind.
easy it is to be kind? Just say
Very
you're fantastic.
It's very
Because when you
simple
say
to
you're
be kind.
fantastic, people, you just did right there, you smile, which makes them feel good, makes them look better, and makes them live longer. If that's not kind, what is being kind?
I think being kind is being transparent and honest. And I think that's very difficult for people to do nowadays. Because like Instagram, that's the issue with Instagram, is everyone wants to pretend that they're perfect. Okay, this is what's kind of happened, I feel like, with Instagram and Facebook. So Facebook and Instagram went from this pity party, like everyone was on there, I'm sad, I just got dumped, my life sucks. And then everyone was like, well, this is really bad. It's not helping anyone. Everyone's putting this bad, negative
That's
stuff
exactly
out.
what I'm saying.
And so then everybody switched and went the opposite direction and started saying that everything's fine and everybody's perfect all the time and my life is wonderful and everybody's great and hi, how are you? And then it went too much the other way. And that's why life is all about balance. And like now you have everyone on Instagram. If you go look at like the top Instagrams, they all like are acting like their lives are perfect and they have no problems and they're happy all the time and they're grinning and they can make you happy, and it doesn't work. It is actually just making the suicide rate go up because all these young girls are watching all of this thinking that this is normal, thinking that is how it needs to be and that they need to look like that and they need to act like that and feel like that, when that in reality isn't how those girls are actually feeling, or guys. That is just how they're depicting it because that was the way that it turned and the way things went. And so now people are turning back and finally noticing that. I feel like it's starting to get like there are a few people like yourself and me that are trying to really impact lives and speak truth and put messages out there that aren't just like my life's great, everything's perfect,
right,
but are I want to help people and let someone in on the road, and doing these little things can impact your life in a bigger way. And there's some Instagrams that I follow are great that put out very positive messages every day and deal with real life issues in such a positive light. And those are great. And I said, yeah, so I mean, it's going to keep changing. So that is how the culture is.
Yeah. Well, when you see these people and all they're doing is taking pictures all day long at every event and on vacation, you're not really living the event.
Exactly.
They're trying to be...
And I was completely guilty of that. I did that for a while, and that's why I took a break from it. And now I go places and I'm not all like, well, I need to get a picture. It didn't happen.
Right.
I go there and I enjoy it.
Enjoy it. Live life. And be nice to people.
Yeah.
That's
I
the
saw
simple
this
message here.
really profound post yesterday where there's this old man sitting there with his granddaughter and she's on her phone like not paying attention to him, and he's just sitting there looking at her. It was so sad, and it said in the bottom, she's gonna regret that.
Well, you know what I really
like,
love is walking into a restaurant and seeing a couple and they're both on their phone, and you wonder if they're texting each other instead of talking to each other.
Yeah, no. I'm pretty good about that with my boyfriend. Like, we're not like on our phones. Like, we go out and really enjoy each other's company.
Good.
I'm bad about my phone because...
I got a funny story about texting. Britney Spears rented my yacht one day, and it was all the haboo, you know. I mean,
Yeah.
it was the 40 paparazzi following us around the marina. And she went up on the top deck, and I was driving up there, and one of her aides or guards said she'd like some privacy. Said, "Sunbathe up here. Can you drive from down below?" I go, "Yeah, I can do that." So as soon as I get down below, he gets a text with a drink order from her. I thought that was pretty wild. I'll never forget that. Because, I guess that these stars are at a club.
Yeah.
And instead of trying to find their aid, they just text them and say, "Bring me a drink."
Yeah.
Or bring me whatever,
Yeah.
So I thought that was pretty funny.
That's funny. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of convenient. But it's sad when you're, like, in a big house and they start communicating that way rather than just, like, talking to one another.
Right. Well, it's definitely one of the things that being fantastic does is it creates engagement. When you start telling people you're fantastic, it will create a conversation, which is pretty much non-existent, as it was attested to. Everyone's on their phone. I mean, it's all. They don't even put it in their pocket anymore.
And you don't know what's going on.
It doesn't
with
even go into
other
your pocket
people
anymore.
around
You're
you.
carrying it all the time
Yeah,
now.
yeah, 100%. I'm gonna have pinky cancer. That's probably why your pinky stopped working.
That might have been
I was thinking
it.
about that the other day because I always hold my phone like this, so my pinky's right here. Oh, these are my little girls. Oh, thank you. I know they're so
Turn
cute.
your phone over. Turn it over to the other side. Let me see the other side.
It came off.
What happened?
It was
Oh.
it had some oil on it.
Sure.
It did.
Ladies and gentlemen, she threw the sticker away.
No, I didn't. It came off. I also want to put my sticker somewhere else, not on my phone.
No?
Because my phone looks tacky. I'd rather put it on
Doesn't
my
look tacky. It looks fantastic.
I'd rather put it on my backpack or my t-shirt. No.
No, but on your
How about here? Yes.
on your phone, it when you take a picture of someone, it makes them smile. It's like a
But
smiley
they can't
face.
see it from all the way over there.
Of course they can. When you're taking a picture of someone,
Yeah. You'd have to be close enough for them to see it because it's so small.
it stands out pretty
It's
good.
a little bee.
It's a little bee. It says "Be fantastic."
But yeah, another important thing. I love this spot right here. This is we're driving by Venice, where it's like the
We're at
Venice sign.
Windward and Venice with a big
It's my
Venice
favorite.
sign. And
Wait, can we do a little? Can they? Probably not, but no.
Probably not.
It's fine. What do you call it? Oh, another important thing I think to think about is being mindful, which
Yes.
is another thing that
Okay.
my personal life coach, my boyfriend, taught me, and he's very, very mindful about like what's going on with everybody around him all the time.
Okay.
Like you're saying, like people on the road,
Uh-huh.
which is very unusual. Like you were saying, most people aren't like that.
Right.
And I've noticed it's very helpful and makes people happy when they feel like they're being cared for especially by a stranger. What just happened? Oh, I was on the plane and there was this man, and you couldn't really tell if until like he accidentally kind of bumped into me, and then I noticed that he was blind, and I just like offered to get his bag for him, and he was kind of just like kind of like didn't want to make me have to do it, but was just like, you could tell he would love that, but he was just kind of shocked too that I would offer,
Uh-huh.
and so I got it from him. It was no big deal, but it's just like, if we could just be doing little things like that all the time, what a better place it would be to live in.
Well,
you know?
one of the things I say is, if you make someone smile, one person smile today, you've made the world a better place.
Yeah, and helps them get out.
And saying fantastic makes everyone smile. And say it all the time, not just as a greeting. Say, what a fantastic day this is today.
You know who
By
I
the way, you
noticed
look
my dad-
fantastic.
Thank you.
See, the word this works.
You know who I noticed says fantastic is my dad.
Does he?
Yeah.
That's good.
And he's a man of very few words.
A lot of people don't realize the effects of saying that word. They just think it's a cool word, and it is a cool word. Oh, by the way, out at you were talking earlier about that festival
that
in Palm Springs.
Mhm.
What's it called? Coachella.
Yeah.
I went out there just to make some interviews, right?
Uh-huh.
And I met one of the there's lots of guards, right, for traffic. And I roll my window down. I go, "How are you?" Because I love doing that to strangers. And he goes, "I'm fantastic." I go, "Are you shitting me?"
Who was it?
One of the guards just doing the
Oh,
traffic. And I said,
that's
Can I
awesome.
interview you?" And you know what? He's been saying it religiously for 25 years.
I love people
And
like
I
that.
interviewed him, and it was a great interview. And,
I love people like that.
but we need
They're-
more people like that.
Well, also, that's
And because
that's
you're
a whole
already
state of-
him-hawing about saying it all the time. You don't think it's...
Well, because I think that, here's the thing. I don't think that there's anything wrong with, if you're genuinely fantastic, like I really am most of the time, and you're like spreading love and letting people know that you can be happy,
Right.
and that's possible all the time, like him.
You're
That-
about
that's
to
the
say
beauty.
what millennials say.
That's the beauty
You're
of
about
him.
to say what all the millennials say, because the only argument I get is from millennials that say, if I say that I'm not fantastic, I'm lying or I'm disingenuous. But you're saying it for other
Maybe-
people. That's a selfish statement.
I don't think that it's
It's
selfish.
because
to
only
be
thinking about yourself
real.
when you say it like that.
No, actually, it's the opposite. I'm thinking about the other person.
Well,
The other person.
Well,
I'm always thinking
we have
about
to
how
disagree-
my
agree to
actions
disagree.
affect someone else, right?
but
So
if you
I
make
wanna
someone else
bring
smile,
hope, if I want to bring hope and joy and happiness to someone else, for example, you know what? You could even put a twist on it. You could even say, "Fantastic! Now that you're here," and then like, yes, you can like explain like what's going on in your life, blah blah
You
blah.
don't-
If it's a friend or whatever,
Yeah.
Not to everybody in your daily, But the thing is that the people like that, like him. And there's a woman in the grocery store that's like that. She's just happy all the time. It is a decision, and she just decides to find joy in what she's doing, even when it's hard work.
Right.
And that's what's so beautiful.
That's what's
about-
important.
And everyone can do that.
right?
Everyone can.
I agree. So you're starting to agree with me.
agree. No, I agree with you 100%. It's just that I think that there are also, for example, is all the time saying it making your wife happy?
Well, I don't even say it around her now because she doesn't exactly agree with me.
Because it doesn't make her happy. So what can you, because there's always something you can do to
Well,
make
around her,
happy.
it's like someone said, "Does your wife like your movement?" I said, "No," and they couldn't understand why. I said, "Well, a painter's home needs painting, a cobbler's kids' shoes need refinishing,
Mm-hmm.
the plumber's sink is leaking." So it's sometimes you're out to change the world outside, but your world inside isn't always in repair. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah, and I think that's...
And sometimes it's too much for her every day for me to be fantastic. So I just don't say that word around her.
So I think that the most
But I'm still
important-
positive. I'm practically and possibly the most positive person on the planet. I don't ever believe in negativity. They say...
and I think that's
you ever hear
great.
this saying? The glass is half full or half empty? You ever hear that saying?
Of course.
Well, I'm changing it up. I believe the glass is full or empty.
Okay.
So you're either always positive or should be always positive and looking at life in the best way, manner, and possible,
Mm-hmm.
or you're just a troller
No, I
and
see what
everything's
you're saying.
you're pissed off at the world.
But I think that everything starts at home. Home is where the heart is. Home is that's your base. That's your core. That's your whole world. To me, my family is the whole world. And when I have my own family, that's going to be my whole world. And you got to make sure that everything's good there first, because that will reflect out of you in your energy, and it will show that. So like if you're telling me that you're fantastic every day and that you're saying this every day, which I already think is wonderful. I'm not a negative person. I'm never going to tell someone not to be positive or happy, because the world needs more of that. But if you were to tell me that, and also tell me that your wife is on board with you, or that you have some way that you come to an agreement with her about it, that would be even more fantastic.
Yes, but let me give you
Right?
an example. And sometimes you just can't teach an old dog new tricks, okay?
Mm-hmm.
She gets upset when it's cloudy or raining. And I can't convince her
I know that all too
not
well.
to be affected by a weather pattern. Okay, so some people just like to be miserable.
I agree.
People-
I see it all the time.
And you know that people are upset in traffic because they're late. They're late. It's not the traffic's fault, right? So there's certain things that I believe
back to my
you
uncle's
need
book.
to...
It's all in your head.
It's
Yes.
all in your head.
Yes.
And another thing about getting back to the family that you're talking about, you come first. Not your wife, not your kids, you. Like when you just got off a plane, right? And they said if the oxygen mask drops, put it on first.
I
And then
agree.
help others.
Right.
Because if you can't be happy, how can you make your
That's
husband
true.
or your
And,
kids
if
happy?
you don't love yourself, you can't love anyone else.
Exactly. So you have to love yourself first.
And
You
I
come
agree with
first,
that.
and that doesn't mean be greedy or be selfish or push people aside and be mean, but it just means that you're more important.
Not that you're more important, but that
Well, you're the most
that
important
you
person.
can't help anyone else if you can't help yourself.
Correct. So we're agreeing on some things here.
Yes.
We're
No,
making
I-
headway, everybody. So I want to hear a song. I want to hear a song about Malibu. We're almost there.
Okay.
Just you're an actress. What do they say?
You know, in Vegas, there's a lot of smoke. So if my voice sounds
well, it's actually a smoky voice you have. That's a good description of your voice.
Thank you.
And there's nothing wrong with it. Janis Joplin had a smoky voice, right?
That's true. It was like, no, we don't want to hear her.
Exactly. The camera shut off just as she was about ready to sing.
Oh, good thing.
So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. A rendition of the Malibu. What do you call the name of the song?
Malibu Flames.
Malibu Flames by Chelsko.
The ashes are falling down. It reminds me of who we are now. And today, I don't feel safe. Flashes of memories, passion and ecstasy. When you're mine, the fire burns, but it's mine. Malibu flames, nothing can stand in the way of your touch. Malibu flames. The closer I get to your love is when I'm on fire. I hate all the ways that I need you. I'm on fire, and I can't get away, though I need to. You let me burn, let me burn, let me burn. You let me burn, let me burn, let me burn in the fire. What was home now can't be found in Malibu. Thank you.
So you wrote that during the fires, not after.
During.
During. And did you have to leave? You had to leave Malibu, right?
Yeah, we got evacuated. It was weird because I've been through a lot of evacuations growing up in Malibu.
Mm-hmm.
There's been quite a few, and it's always kind of just like, yay, trip to grandma's, like, no big deal. We don't actually think anything of it. And this time, we hadn't even been evacuated yet. And I was like, I came home. The fire was still all the way over the hill in, like, Agora, like, really far.
What?
That's really far for a fire. And I just had this gut feeling. And I was talking to my friend about it that I just was at Vegas with, because I was supposed to go to Vegas with him. And I texted him and I was like, I can't come. And he knows me. It's very unlike me. I'm very positive. I'm always positive. And so he was like, something must be actually wrong, because she's always happy, and always positive, and always, thinking the best. And I was like, I don't think this is going to be good. The fire had started, and I came home and I told my mom, I was like, pack your bags, get your stuff. I don't know how. my gut told me, God, intuition, all told me, and I was just like, I have a fire burn drawer. So in case, in case there's a real bad fire, I know to grab that drawer, because it's all my precious stuff that's irreplaceable.
Wow.
And so I grabbed my drawer and some stuff, and we packed up the car. And
so not much stuff. You didn't pack much stuff.
No, not much. And then within 30 minutes, we were evacuated. I was like, I knew it. I don't know how. I just knew it. And then all of that, Malibu got evacuated. And as we're driving out, like, 2 lanes are coming this way, 2 lanes are coming this way. And we all just decided, like, to
go the same way.
To go the same way.
That's
to
good.
Get out. Because
Yeah.
it was just like an apocalypse. And you could turn behind and see literally the sky just clouds.
Well, for those of you around the world or maybe watching this, Malibu is a very expensive area to live in. It's on the beach. It's 21 miles long. It's about a mile wide. And it's, the movie stars live there, and they're very wealthy. But people have been living there for a long time. And a lot of people, the sad part of this story here is a lot of people had their homes paid off, and they didn't have fire insurance, or they were underinsured. So now when you buy a home, you usually get a mortgage, and the company that gives you the mortgage wants to protect their money, so they make sure that you have insurance to cover their ass. Right. So there's a lot of people that now don't live in Malibu because they were underinsured, and there's no way they can afford to rebuild and live there again. And that's the sad part of the whole thing.
It's really, really...
Now, my daughter lived in Paradise, California, and they had fires at the same time.
Oh, right.
And she left her home without packing the drawer, without packing her toothbrush. They just left immediately and lost everything they ever owned.
Oh.
The home, all her possessions, the cars, the motorcycles, everything. And so I always tell her, the past is the past.
Yeah.
She has now a new home, brand new toothbrush, brand new computers, and brand new motorcycles and cars and everything. But she lost some memories, but the kids are okay. She has 5 daughters. I have 5 granddaughters, yes.
Wow, that's so cool.
5 daughters, yeah.
I love that.
But Paradise is, now the sad part about Paradise is like 95% of the town was destroyed. The 5% that didn't get destroyed, they didn't get anything from the insurance money. So they have to live in a desolated town now with no friends around anymore. So they would have been better off had their home, the 5% had their homes burned. Because there was nothing to cover. They didn't burn, so now they're living in a desert town. Or not desert, but a ghost town. That's a bummer. So there's bummers about everything, but you can't let life destroy you. Exactly. There's circumstances.
It's not what happens to you, it's what you do about it.
Exactly. There's circumstances that happen. You can't let circumstances affect you, especially when they're not in your control. Right now, we're in bumper-to-bumper traffic, but I'm having a great time talking to my ambassador, and hopefully she's getting
You know what?
gear.
That's actually a great example. I was running on the beach, and one of our old neighbors was surfing, and he has a wife and a small daughter. I don't know if they have 2 kids now, but anyways, soon after the fires, I'm going for a run, and I saw him. I was like, "Hi, how are you?" And he's like, I'm not kidding you. I'm pretty sure he said something like, "I'm fantastic," or "I'm great," or whatever. Like, we lost our home, but it's all good, and we're happy. And I was like, what? Like, it was the coolest thing.
Yeah.
It was the coolest thing.
It sets an example for people.
Yeah.
And it's something you never forget.
Yeah.
By the way, I don't know if I asked you this before, but I'll ask you right now on camera. Have you ever met anyone, and the answer is going to be yes for you, that says they're fantastic all the time?
Yes, you.
Me, but besides me. Like religiously.
I don't
like
know.
Your dad. You
Maybe.
say your dad says a lot.
Maybe, but
See-
I don't know. My
see,
dad
the
doesn't
word-
say it like a lot, but that's the thing. Why my dad is a man of very few words, so when he
Okay.
says anything, it's very profound and it means a lot.
Well,
That's why I remember that he said it.
So I'm going to ask you a question here. I've asked that question I just asked you to over 5,000 people.
Mm-hmm.
Guess out of 5,000 people, how many have actually met someone in their entire life? Because you never forget them. That's the neat thing about it. When you meet someone, and then you can't say maybe. And a lot of people just assume they have. But
Yeah.
trust me, of the people that have met someone in their life, they never forgot them that says they're fantastic. Now, the question is, how many do you think out of 5,000?
4.
You said 4. Now, believe it or not, Chelsea, 99% of the people guess 10 or less. 99% of the people guess 10 or less. It's the funniest thing. And guess how many there are? The real number is 92. But that's still a real paltry small number.
92
92
people
out of
said
5,000
yes.
I've asked. No, 92 people out of 5,000 I've asked, have you ever met someone in your life that says they're fantastic? Have met someone. And the reason I say you never forgotten on my card, it says you never be forgotten, is because those 92 people never forgot that person.
There you
It could have been 30, 40 years ago.
There you
In
go.
passing at the airport. And the guy on the beach, you'll never forget him.
Yeah.
You will never forget that guy because he said he was fantastic.
Yeah.
And you'll never forget me either.
Well, I don't even know if he said fantastic or if he said great or
Oh.
if he said, but he said something to the tune of,
Very, very positive.
yeah, very, very
But-
positive,
but
and had
the-
this big smile on his
But
face.
as you know, the best
after
word,
the most devastating,
the most positive word on the planet, well, I like that, the most positive word on the planet is fantastic. It
There
really
you go.
works.
I
It really works.
think.
And last night, I was with a lot of movie stars and a lot of people that didn't have any idea what fantastic was till
what
last
do you
night.
mean? They didn't know what fantastic was.
They said, good. I said, how are you?
Oh, okay.
These
But
are
they knew
people-
what fantastic was.
Of
They
course,
weren't
everyone
just
knows what the
yeah.
word means. Nobody knows what the word means. They know the word exists. Do you remember what the word means? I told you that last time we talked.
Yes, you did tell me.
What's the word mean?
You said
What's the
it
definition of the word fantastic? And this is for you more than for her, everybody listening.
means- yes.
What does the word fantastic?
Don't tell me because.
What's
you
the
did tell me.
definition in the dictionary
And I-
of the word fantastic?
Please hold.
It's going to cheat.
I'm going to cheat. I actually want to see what it is.
Actually, it's nice to cheat because then you know I'm not... Nothing I've told you so far since we met did I make up, I mean, everybody has...
Fantastic. Informal, extraordinarily good, or attractive.
Yeah. Well, I always say, when I looked it up, it said extraordinarily good and beautiful. It says attractive now?
It's the same.
Yeah, attractive and beautiful.
Attractive, beautiful, same.
But we all have 2 things in common, Chelsea. One is we're going to be asked how we are today. and 2 is we know that being positive is better than being negative. Those are the 2
Amen.
basic ingredients for this
Yes.
simple plan.
Yes.
It's a plan to make the world a better
I
place.
agree with that. It's never
I'm a
good to
simple
be
man
negative.
with a simple plan. And the simple plan is if everyone just starts being kind, being fantastic, letting people in when you drive, opening doors for people. Now, they don't always say thank you, and that's a bummer.
But that's okay. You can't
that's
let that.
okay.
You can't even
can't let that
affect
stop
at
you.
all. And then my biggest thing lately is I've been feeling a lot more peaceful because I've stopped letting negative things said to me affect me. And that is a very, very internal thing. So not only can you not react to it, but you really have to learn to not let it affect you. Like, I've gotten to the point where I can read a very mean text from someone and just be like,
They have their own agenda.
I'm just not going to let it affect me. And I don't know that
Okay.
there's any truth in that.
And that brings
so
me to what I told you
why would
before
yeah.
about the 4 agreements.
Right,
You gotta
the 4
what are the 4 agreements?
The 4 agreements. Those
If you
were
remember
good.
those.
I told
Everybody,
you, I'm an idea
everybody's
person.
listening. You got to buy the book, The 4 Agreements. Give it as a Christmas gift. It is the best gift you can give someone because when everyone starts adhering to it's been a hit from Carlos Ruiz wrote it 40 years ago, and everybody reads it and understands it. And should always memorize the 4 agreements. Number 1, be impeccable with your word. Your words matter. Your words mean things to people. Keeping your words is important. The mean words that person said to you, they weren't impeccable with their word, were they?
Be impeccable
With your words. Number 2, never let what someone says about you affect you. The only person's opinion that matters is yours.
And God's.
And like you said, God's. Whoever that guy is. I haven't met him yet. But anyway.
You haven't met God?
No, he has introduced himself to me.
He doesn't have to introduce. He already introduced himself to you.
I think if you believe in yourself, you're believing in God. That's what I was told.
Well, I don't know who you've been talking to.
Suppose that God's in everyone, right? Isn't
God is in everyone, yes.
Okay, so there you go.
So then you have met God.
Well,
But you just said you hadn't met God, but you've met me and God's in me. So
there you
you've
go.
met
So I
God.
met God. There you go. Finally met God, everybody. Number 3. Number 3. Okay, number 2 is never let someone's opinion affect you because they have an agenda. Your dad has an agenda. Your mom has an agenda. That person that was mean had an agenda. And then none of those people's opinion matters because it's what's in your mind that matters. Anyway, number 3, never make assumptions.
Yes.
You remember what that does?
Makes an
And it's
ass of you
always
and me.
negative. When you think about it, it's always negative. That's why they say don't do it. You know, he didn't call me because he doesn't like me anymore. That's
Right.
very negative. And that's an assumption. He didn't call you because he was too busy or he's at work or he lost his phone or a number of other things might have happened. And the 4th one is always do your best.
Yes.
Always do your best. And that's all you can do. And if your
Amen.
best isn't good enough for someone, do the takeaway. So, sorry, well, then we have to part ways because this is my best. And that's the 4 Agreements. Wonderful book.
But you added the fifth one, but I like it.
What's the 5th one? I didn't add anything.
The takeaway. The takeaway is kind
Oh,
of
the
a fun
takeaway
one.
is that's for sales.
Oh,
Takeaway is the best thing. Takeaway is a sales technique. You have to have balls to do the takeaway.
Yeah. I actually did sales for a little while, and I had to do that.
You know what the secret to selling is?
Being happy.
No. Do you know what you're selling when you're selling? You're not selling a product or a service when you're a salesperson.
An experience.
You're selling a relationship and experience. It goes hand in hand. Because there's only one Chelsea, right?
Correct.
If someone is lucky enough to meet Chelsea and then you have a product or a service to sell, they're getting the luck to get it from you because they can buy it from someone else.
Right.
So you have to think in that term is they're lucky to buy the product from me or
Right.
the service.
That's where the experience.
That's
comes
what
in.
makes a good salesperson.
That's
the
true.
belief in yourself that,
Yeah.
that you...
That's why I always would, when I was doing sales, I would always just try to enjoy and have a good day and be happy and jumping up and down and not, you know what I mean? Just hype myself up a little bit, and that's what we were trained to do too, even in in our classes and stuff. Because
Who
if
wants
you're
to buy
just standing there
And
no
here-
one wants to buy anything.
And if it's over the phone, the secret is that when the phone rings and they see that it's you calling, they get to go, oh, great, I get to talk to Chelsea again.
Yeah.
And maybe it's a joke you always tell them. Or, and then conversely, if, oh my God, I got to talk to Chelsea again.
Exactly.
That's
then they're not even going to answer.
They're not going to answer, or maybe they have to answer because they have to buy it. Or maybe, I mean, that's always a possibility too. But anyway, we're in Malibu, ladies and gentlemen. I think we're in Malibu now, right?
Yes.
We're passing the Getty Villa. Have you been there? The Getty Villa?
I honestly, it's been so long.
It's free, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah,
Look at that line to get in. Wow. Because it's a free. Did you see the movie All the Money in the World?
I haven't.
You got to go see that. It's about Getty.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a true story.
Oh,
I love true stories.
I love a good true story movie.
You got to see The Founder. You saw the movie The Founder, right? That's a story about Kroc, who owns McDonald's.
Did I see that?
It's called Founder. And there's a lot of great movies out there.
Yeah, there is.
And I'm going to make my movie. It's called Lester's Legacy. It's the story of my life.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
What's your movie, like, more in detail? What's going to be going on?
Well, it's about a guy who was born in Beverly Hills.
You what?
So we didn't get to the last part. My mom dated Reagan. And on the cover of my book, if you guys want to buy my book, it's called Lester's Legacy. It's $5 on Kindle. It's $30 on hardback. But on the cover of the book is a picture of my mom on a date with Ronald Reagan. And he was very nice to me when he was governor, and he wrote me when he was president. And we always called him Papa Reagan because, as you know, I've been orphaned since I was 11.
Okay.
So I didn't have a father.
Okay.
And so we always called him Papa Reagan when he was president.
How long did he date your mom for?
Well, I don't know that. But I do know he only dated 6 women in his life. And my mom was one of them.
That's great.
Which is pretty cool. And he was really nice to me, so I always liked Reagan.
Yeah.
And they say he was one of the greatest presidents, too.
Yeah.
Oh, now we're in Malibu. I apologize, everybody. Population 13,000.
Very small.
Elevation 10 feet.
Same population as my college.
What the hell was that?
I don't know.
Look at this guy walking across the street.
I've been to the Ronald Reagan Museum.
Oh, have you? So actually, I have some letters from him, handwritten, that are probably worth a lot of money. But it might be nice to donate to the museum because they like all his letters,
They do. They have a whole collection of everything.
I gotta find that letter one day.
They have literally
a couple letters.
everything.
One's typewritten and one's handwritten.
That's so cool.
That's pretty cool.
Look at that truck.
And so basically, it's I go through life as I did, and then one day I find out my father died, and I went to his funeral, and I met his friend, and I inherited a script, and the script in the movie solves the mystery of my father's disappearance. Because my real father disappeared when I was 2, and he joined a carnival, and he was a producer. So what producer that's married to a beautiful woman, my mother was drop dead gorgeous, by the way, joins a carnival, right? He's from Beverly Hills. He's married to a beautiful woman. He's got 2 kids, and all of a sudden he disappears. He joins a carnival. And why do you join a carnival? You know why? To avoid either the police or the mafia. So I assume because when I saw a picture of his wedding album, it was at Donald Connor's house, celebrity, and you can see mafia all over the pictures because they dressed like clowns back then, right? And so I figured he did something with the mafia, and that's why he had to disappear to save the family. So that's what I write into the story. And so what happens is this manuscript, because I didn't inherit anything. I was an orphan. I was a foster family. Terrible childhood. So then I have something of value now. Mm-hmm. My legacy, Lester's legacy.
Right.
And Hollywood goes askew about it. They all bidding war ensues, right? And somebody buys my script, and he shelves it. And the reason he bought the script is because he recognizes the story, because it's a true story why he disappeared. And what happened was he saw a mob hit, and he couldn't handle it. And he was going to go to the police, and the mob knew about it. So then he had to disappear, so the mob didn't kill him, right? And it might have happened. We don't know.
Yeah, but I like the story.
And that's the story. That's my movie.
That's
so
great.
basically, I don't do it. It doesn't do me any good to sell the script. So I find out that the guy who bought the script, who's to try to protect his cousin, who's now a governor. Okay.
Yes.
It gets deeper, right?
Yes.
Well, I find out
thickens.
that the guy he's protecting, that he bought the script for, has been sleeping with his mistress. So then I tell the mob boss that he's been sleeping with the mistress, and so the bomb wants to get even, releases the film, which becomes a huge success because it implicates a governor in a murder that happened 30 years ago. So that's my movie.
That's so cool. I love that.
Isn't that great?
That's killer.
And it's based on a true story. It's a killer, and that's my legacy. So then, of course, I get fame and fortune and live happily ever after.
That's beautiful.
That's my story.
What about your family?
Now the sequel. No, I wrote them out of it. They got pissed about it.
What is
it's
it?
based on a true story.
Why are you
It's not an autobiography. It's based on a true story.
The family's the most important thing.
I know, but it's based on a true story. I wrote it a long time ago.
It's about your family history, so you should end in a happy family. I think you should rewrite the ending.
You probably should. Okay, I'll rewrite the ending. But now,
because that's
guess
real
what?
fame and fortune.
I already have this.
Love
I already have the
family.
sequel coming out now. I have the sequel. Guess what it's called?
How I realized that my family's more important than fame and fortune.
That's close. Very, very close. It's called Being Fantastic.
There you go.
You remember being there? Did you ever see that movie?
Careful.
You got to catch us on some movies, girl.
Yeah, I do.
Being There was with Peter Sellers, and it's a classic.
So you're doing like a spin-off of it?
No. It's just like I like the word being, because
Okay.
be fantastic.
Right.
And this is being fantastic.
Are you going to spell it Beaing?
No.
Fantastic?
No. It's Being. Being. Like you're being a good person. You're being fantastic.
But your thing is BEA, so you should spell
What is
it
BEA? Where did you get
B.
BEA from?
the B.
That's how you spell B? BEA?
I don't know where I got that.
What grade did you go to?
I don't
B
know
is
why
spelled
in my mind I was like,
B-E-E.
yeah, you're right.
B. Oh, you're thinking about Aunt B.
Yeah.
BEA is someone's name.
Yeah.
But no, it's a B.
Yeah, I don't know
Look
where
at
I
that.
got that.
Look
It's
at
not a word I write
B, fantastic.
often.
And that's my little B.
But it's
by the way,
BEE.
I just hired a guy yesterday to make
You
a
still spelled it wrong.
No, it's B fantastic.
But
The B is symbolic.
B's are
no,
BEE.
I know, but the B is a symbol. It's an icon for pollinating,
But it's a pun, so you need to spell it BEE.
pollinating positivity.
So you need to
The
say
B is represent.
fantastic, BEE.
No, and that confuses people. And I apologize for everyone that's putting BEE when they look for Be Fantastic, because the B it's an icon for being
I'm
positive.
telling you, you should do BEE.
For pollinating positivity. No, that would be way confusing. BEE fantastic. No, it's Be Fantastic. Like, please be fantastic.
Yeah.
So confusing, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Well, I hope you enjoyed this last. How long does it say for? Oh, we've been talking an hour. So this is about
6 minutes.
no, an hour and 6 minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the longest interview in the history of the Be Fantastic movement, which started out as uplifting interviews with total strangers, which started out as the SOS show. It's an evolution, and it might turn into the Adventures of Dr. Fantastic. We don't know yet.
Or a
But
revolution.
right now, it's the Be Fantastic movement, and Chelsko, who is ambassador number 72, just recorded the longest interview. And if anybody gets to this point in the interview, you please call me at 310. That means you watched it for an hour. I think it's pretty entertaining. I think
Yeah.
we did a pretty good job.
I think we did too.
I think you should call me and let me know that you actually watched it for an hour. 310-913-5533. Love to hear from you. And I want you to encourage everyone out there who likes what we were doing, to become an ambassador of positivity and spread the word, because we need thousands, if not millions, of people being kind, being nice, being polite, being fantastic.
Amen.
We need everyone to be fantastic. And you can't wear the word out, please, ladies and gentlemen. Tell your wife she looks fantastic. Tell your kids they're
Yes.
fantastic. I told you about the 3-year-old kid the other day.
Yeah, that was great.
He hasn't been talking a year and he's already in the habit of saying he's good. Good is bad. It's a 4-letter word. Cut it out of your vocabulary. What's going on? They're going to make a movie here. Watch. Anyway, everybody, it's a fantastic Saturday, September 21st. I'm so happy to have a record-breaking interview of 1 hour and 8 minutes and 27 seconds. Everybody be fantastic, right?
Be fantastic.
Bye-bye, everybody.
BEE.
No, it's not BE. No.